and welcome to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. My name is Gayle Nicholson. I am one of your hosts. I am the Dragon Slayer Crone with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. Ooh, ran out of air in the middle of that. Hey, there to my side, I have Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing on Facebook. Hello, Krista. And then also supporting us from below, as always, Miss Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. She's our Stargazer Crone. And over here, Miss Krista is the traveling crystal crone who's finally at home this week.
Yeah, not for long. Don't get used to this background. I'm gone again soon.
She really embodies that traveling.
I do live by the traveling. Actually, it'll be nice. We'll have a month off when kind of, sort of, nothing major in that month time before we then go do another big trip.
My.
So it's a wonderful life.
It is. It is.
It is. I envy it. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Joining us. Hi, Dear Bear. Thanks for being here. Oh my goodness. And as you guys all come in and have a seat and get your beverage of choice, I'm double
fisting it tonight.
Woohoo!
I got my water bottle, but if I drink too much, then I have to step out to go to the bathroom. I drink after.
Responsibly.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't going to have to leave, but we'll work on it.
Yeah, you got two drinks there going on.
There you go.
Yeah. It's all for fun. It's all, it's all a good day. It's a good day.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Here we go. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
Hi, Chris. I have an appointment with Chris tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm really excited for that. Yes.
Wonderful.
I actually said you should try that because that's still unique,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. It is. I love doing crystal readings for people. Because I don't know what's going to come up. Literally, it is like I have no clue. And then it comes out and it's like, it's exactly what the person needed to hear.
Yeah, I'm excited for her.
Magic how that happens. It's very, very awesome.
It is. It's awesome.
Right.
I was going to say, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How about yourselves?
Gayle? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, actually. We got up here in the Northeast, and I assume kind of where you're at too, Damaris. We had an absolutely gorgeous week last week, like mid-70s. It was gorgeous.
We did.
Right? We loved it. And then it went back down to like 36, 40s, trying above 55, and it's like, all right, come on, Mother Nature, get your thing here.
Same
Yep. Same here. Yeah, we had this gorgeous weekend and it was so pretty and it was so lovely. And then all it's done is rain. Mm-hmm. And then now we do have some sunshine, but it's at the end of the day. So it's not like warm sunshine. It's that nice, so when I was out doing errands, the bagger that helped me bring my groceries out to the car, she's like, it feels like fall, not like spring. Because it just has that bite, that crispness to it.
Yep.
So,
we were a couple of days ago. We had a strong northern wind, and you'd be all nice in the sunshine, and then boom, the breeze would hit, and you'd be like, "Whoa!
Yeah, where did that come from?"
Yeah. Harry knows. Rain. It's rained for 3 days here.
It rained so much, like an inch within 24 hours.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I can look out the window, and because I'm on the second floor and I'm level with like the branches of the trees, little bitty leaves. They're like fully shaped leaves, but they're little bitty ones.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's awesome to see that because it's like, when you went to bed one day, they really weren't there. And then you wake up the next morning and all of a sudden, all these green leaves, these little leaves are appearing. And
Yep.
I love that. I love that.
Yep. So we've been lucky because I had been praying that if we were going to get rain and we were going to get those northern winds, that it wasn't going to be bad enough that it was going to strip the buds off the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all seen that happen in the past. And then summer is just kind of depressing. But so far, we haven't had anything like whipping around and knocking everything off the trees. So lovely.
Nice.
It's going to be a lovely summer, I can tell. You know?
I can't wait.
I think it's gonna be a cooler summer for us. That's my sense.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
hopefully.
my sense is that it will be cooler, at least for us, like versus what last year was. It was just excruciatingly warm last year.
Yeah.
Well, and here also in Vermont, when I got here midsummer and afterwards, hey, Allison, wonderful to see you.
Yeah, it's been forever.
I know.
So glad you're here. So last summer, because it's so green and so moist here, sorry to people who don't like the M word. I know a few people that just have a meltdown, whatever you say.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And of course, since we know there's a button, we push the button. Yes.
Yeah, well, and it's a funny button to push, actually.
It
I think it's hysterical.
Yep. So at any rate, since it's so humid, and it's not normally humid, but in the summertime when it gets really hot, it does get really humid. There's a lot of moisture. The water table is like 18 inches below ground. So there's a lot of moisture to be had. And man, when it gets hot, it gets humid here.
Yeah.
Which I am not used to. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you spent all that time out in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, we're looking forward to a good year ahead. And I am really, really excited about what this next week is going to be bringing, because after all, the end of this week is the end of April, and April showers will bring May
flowers.
I'm so excited.
I love it.
Oh my goodness. So what else is really going on out there in the world these days? It's been kind of quiet this week, don't you think?
Sometimes things are happening behind the scenes, And so, I think that there's always something happening, We might not realize it, but there's always something happening behind the scenes.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. You want to just skip into your segment there, Damaris?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's just get going.
Okay.
All right. All right. So there's a lot going on, but I really wanted to emphasize and focus on Pisces, the energy of Saturn in Pisces. And there's a reason for it, and you guys are going to understand it by the time that I'm done with that. So Pisces has to do with the emotional and spiritual connection. Now, Virgo is the opposite sign of Pisces, and Virgo has to do with the body-mind connection. So even though I'm a Virgo, but even though you guys may not be Virgos, you do have Virgo in your chart, right?
Yeah, I'm actually a Virgo cusp.
Okay. So you have it on the rising, the cusp?
I have it on the cusp because I'm on the 25th and the switch date is the 23rd. I'm with
Okay.
So
I have it. Mine's rising. My Virgo's rising.
Well, then you're definitely going to experience what I am going to talk about,
Okay.
which is what I wanted to talk about.
Yay me!
All right. So as you know, Saturn travels the whole natal chart, right? The wheel.
Yeah.
It takes about 30 years for it to go around from, let's say, Aries and to come back around. So we're having a Saturn return in Pisces. So it took 30 years for Saturn to travel all the way around the wheel, and now it's back into Pisces. So what does that mean? And I just said before, Pisces has to do with the emotional and spiritual connection versus the Virgo energy, which is the body mind connection. We probably, most of us have been in the body mind connection and not in the emotional spiritual connection. Well, Saturn is saying it's time. It's time to get into that energy. It's time to begin to work with the emotional aspect and begin to work with the spiritual aspect. The two signs actually make us whole. The Pisces and the Virgo makes us whole. That's why one is in the 6th house, one is in the 12th house. So it's like, two pieces of a pie coming together. And so what Saturn is saying is, okay, what have you been doing for the last 30 years? And I know some people, some of the audience may be 30, right? So now it's a time to make, major changes in their lives in this, Saturn in Pisces, because again, you don't have to be a Pisces or a Virgo to, experience the changes, because we have it in the chart. So what have you been doing up until now? It's time for adulting. It's time for you to become an adult. Take responsibility, take ownership. I'm talking about the 30-year-olds.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to grow up. Thank you.
Some people haven't grown up too, though.
You're gonna give it up.
What?
No, I'm giving up. I'm giving up being a grown up. I just want to go. I want to go crawl under blanket forts and color, and use lots of glitter.
So now for the ones that are older, like us, it's a time of life review. There's a time of restructuring. There's a time of saying to ourselves, where have I been using my energy? Where have I been focusing my energy? How I have been using it in a positive way, in a negative way. If you use it in a negative way, Saturn is the teacher. Saturn is going to come back around and give you the boomerang. Oh, you did this 30 years ago. Boom, here it is. Face it.
Gonna wrap your knuckles with a ruler. That's what he's gonna do.
Yes.
I can't remember what I did 30 years ago. I was 22. I'm like,
well, you have to have a life, right?
I can make a list. I'll bet you I'm almost always right.
It's about, like I said, having a life review, looking back and seeing what you've done with your life and seeing where you were, where you are, and where you're going. Right. And more wiser, more on a spiritual level, like I said before, because we have to work with the emotional and the spiritual layers now. All this time, most of us have only worked on the body and the mind connection. Now it's time to do the other side of the equation so that we become whole. Right. So, if we haven't used the energy in a positive way, we're going to go through a hard time with this Saturn in Pisces, because we don't have to be either sign. We're still going to experience it. It's about breaking free of the mind control as well, because remember, Virgo is the body mind connection. So we've been in our minds a lot, and we've been in our bodies exercising, doing this or that, right? Which is fine, but we can't neglect the emotional aspect and the spiritual aspect. And so Saturn is demanding. It's not asking anymore. It's demanding that we get into those levels and we grow and mature emotionally, and we connect to our spiritual selves and what those gifts are and what we have to offer. Is about breaking free, and it's also about a personal revolution within ourselves. How are we going to revolutionize ourselves now? It's like, if we've been used to being controlled by something or someone, we can't do that anymore. We're going to experience, and I don't know, sometimes the TV controls our mind. I don't know. Sometimes it's a person. Sometimes it's the school system, the government. I don't know. Whatever it is for you.
A job, parents,
a husband,
family,
a partner.
Yeah. So, the list can be long. And here's the other thing. Sometimes it's ourselves.
Sometimes it's ourselves.
Yeah. And sometimes that's the worst.
It's about, it's about restructuring. It's about setting new boundaries, it's about, breaking free. And it may be, difficult for some people to break free. Let's say they're in a relationship where the person is controlling. How do you break free of that? Right. the other person is controlling. How do you break free of that? A lot of us are afraid, but this is where we go into the emotional and the spiritual connection. Emotionally, are we okay? Are we miserable? If we're miserable, we're actually going to affect every other part of us, every other layer, right? And so this is a time where Saturn, again, especially the Pisces and Virgo energies, but it also happens with everybody else because we have it in the chart, but it's stronger on people that have Pisces energy and the Virgo energy. When you have when I was talking about 30 years ago, you have Pisces in Saturn in Pisces was also opposing Virgo, and Virgo had Pluto and Uranus in it. So now it's a whole different dynamic. Now you're working right now. Those people that were born in the 60s are working with this energy of Uranus and Pluto. Pluto destroys everything. So it will be destroyed in order for you to rebuild it. And it's going to happen now. This is the life restructuring energy.
So it's really destroying and uncreating in order to create.
Yes, to create more sustainability, to create, things that are working better for you. What do we need to let go of, right? What do we need to release from our lives? Right?
So one of the cool things to look at in terms of not getting too caught up in the word destroying, some people might get fixated on that word, is really thinking of it as you're destroying and uncreating. And you're destroying and uncreating not, in a catastrophic intention.
Although it could be.
But yes, it could be. But if by destroying and uncreating, all it's doing is opening energy up and opening space up in order to restructure, in order to grow, in order to expand, and in order to...
I'll give you an example, right?
Right.
I have a client who's her culture from the Middle East. So, she's in a relationship with her spouse and he's very controlling. And she is in a place in her life right now. She's a Pisces, where she says that she feels like dying and she doesn't want to be controlled anymore. She doesn't want to be in the relationship that she's in because it's very toxic, and she's suicidal. And I said to her, I was like, no, this is a time to break free. And I'm not saying you need to get a divorce, but you really need to break free of the binds that tying you, or you need to, break free of, his control in some way, shape, or form. It may be that you're going to get a divorce. It may be because we have to get rid of what's not working, and we have to destroy what is not beneficial. And obviously she's not able to, express her feelings. She's not able to, grow in ways that she feels that she wants to grow because of his control. And so that right there, it's going to be very difficult for her.
She needs Larimar.
Yeah, but
a Larimar necklace.
It's going to take a lot more than Larimar.
Oh no, let me share it. Oh no. It is amazing. That is one powerful stone. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, but nothing's going to happen overnight. However, it is amazing how that stone, when you're ready to open your voice, it really, I love blue lace agate, but sometimes that's a little too soft. I find that when you need that energy, that water flow energy, that Larimar, because it gets in those little spaces and it breaks things free.
Yeah, the thing is though, when we're very fearful, in her situation, she's very fearful. And so I don't know what that stone is.
It still will do, because what it will do is it will give her still the courage. Maybe not to say it to him, but to someone else, and make a difference, to leave.
Yeah, but she needs to say it to him.
Yeah. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. She needs to be safe. But she needs to be safe.
No, I know, but I don't know how that's going to work out for her. But I know that something's going to break between now and that when that transit is over, because Saturn will not allow it anymore. So that's what it is. This energy of Saturn is very demanding, and it won't take any excuses. That could have been before Saturn went into her sign, but now it's in her sign. Like it's like the time is late. It's she ran out of the time. Now she has to do it within that frame, of time. It stays in the sign about 2.5 years.
Yeah. So she'll have time to do it.
Yes, she had. Now that's the timeline.
Yeah,
really. That's
no, and I mean, there are many. As hard as it is, there are many people who I've known through my life who have been in very controlling situations with partners and such. And I had one in particular that we talk about. It was a cross-cultural marriage. We're talking about Japanese and we're talking about Puerto Rican.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was in the Puerto Rican spouse thought one reason why he married a Japanese spouse was love was, I'm sure, involved in it, but more so obedience and more so control. And more so, there were, all these other aspects that he put on and placed on. But the very interesting aspect for my friend is that when I actually watched this all unfold.
Yeah,
I was witness. I was the person, one of the people who got to bear witness. But as it unfolded, that control, as her voice got stronger, she got stronger. And as she got stronger, her voice got louder. And as her voice got louder and her strength, I mean, it was like watching. I didn't realize how tall she was. She was, and now you guys have seen me. She's taller than you and I, Damaris.
Wow.
But I never knew that she was that tall.
Wow.
Until she found her voice. And she just like grew. And I'm not exactly sure on all the details of everything that has occurred. I do know that the control aspect is no longer.
That's awesome. And really, that's what it is. It doesn't mean that there has to be a divorce, but the relationship is off balance when one is in control and the other one is submissive. And that other person can't express who they are and be who they are. I mean, that doesn't work anymore. It really doesn't.
No, but at the same time, especially with controlling and borderline abusive relationships, you cannot come at the other party directly. It's not a matter of that person saying to that person, stop controlling me. Sometimes in order for that person to slide out from under the control, they need to take on like wearing a necklace of Larimar, which is going to energetically go into the fissures in that solid function and crack it apart. There is a function of saying something to a third party, which then gets the energy moving that comes around and takes the other controlling party out of the equation, but not from a direct frontal hit from the person.
Yeah, no, that's dangerous.
Oh, well, always. That is always dangerous. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about saying she needs to say it to him.
No.
She needs to say it for herself into the universe so that the energies can start
spin. Yeah.
Well, what I meant was she needs to let him understand that she is not happy in the way the relationship is because she's not able to express herself. And he needs to understand that where she's coming from. Oh, where is she?
I have no clue.
Hello.
Okay, not really sure what just happened here.
Yeah.
Did
you accidentally turn off your camera? Because it says you're in the stream as audio only.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Well, actually, I do. Hello, Mercury retrograde.
Traveling.
I have no clue what just happened there. I'm not sure if I have. Yeah, I'm back. I'm not sure if I have a visitor. I'm not sure if Mercury retrograde is playing or what. Because that was kind of funny. All of a sudden, the whole screen disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what I was saying, she needs to express herself to him. I'm not saying in a aggressive way because that could be dangerous, depending on how he is. But there definitely needs to be communication there where it's clear.
Yeah.
On her part. Obviously, she may need the crystal. She may need a third party to come in, someone neutral to come
and
in.
that, for example, that Larimar, like Krista was saying, she starts wearing Larimar for herself.
Yeah, just for herself.
Find the courage to say, what you just said to me doesn't make me feel good anymore.
Yeah.
And move on.
It's yeah.
There are little things that need to be said so that it's not a huge intervention. Sit your ass down. You need to hear some things from me.
No.
To just, honey, that doesn't work for me. Could you be kinder?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And sometimes it's, and I guess, the way I see it, from your description, it almost sounds like everything you're describing that's going to happen is going to be like an instant explosion of all.
No, it's the transit takes about 2.5 years. So
yeah, so understanding that it's a 2.5 year transition, and understanding that all this energy has that long to work. The coolest thing is having something like a crystal to assist you with that.
The reason what I was saying was she's in a place where I think it may happen very much sooner than that, because she's in a place where she wants to commit suicide and not live in this way. And that's what she's thinking about. And so she needs to, again, like what Gayle was saying, maybe she needs a third party. Maybe she needs to bring someone else in to see if they can be, a mediator. Let's put it that way, in the situation, because she's in a place where she's had enough already. So I don't think it's going to take 3 years for the shift. Whatever is going to happen sooner than that.
Well, yes. Let's hope it does for her, so that she feels heard.
Yeah,
because it sounds like that she just doesn't feel heard, and so
she's not
talking to somebody and figuring out ways to communicate better is always where you can find strength.
Yeah. So the number 9, completion, endings.
Endings.
That ending could be, something breaks, or it could be the ending of something, of a situation, of the circumstances that you're living in. So it doesn't, like I said, if I look at her, it doesn't have to necessarily be a divorce. It could just be the ending of her feeling the way she's feeling, right? Mm-hmm. And so things can, sort of like they could have a breakthrough, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but there's endings. In order for us to move to the next stage of our lives, we need to get rid of some things and make room for the new. And so that 9 energy is also very service oriented. The 9 is ruled by Mars, Aries and Mars, and also Virgo, I feel, because of it's very benevolent. It's very service oriented. Is the energy of the 9 is also wisdom, because the 9 is the last number, from the numerology. So it's Pisces, actually. It's the last sign. So it's got a lot of wisdom, that vibration. Mm-hmm. So that's what the 9 vibration is. Time for endings in order for us to go into new beginnings.
Awesome stuff. Well, that was very, very interesting. Very interesting report, Damaris. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I know, as over has dancing. I was enjoying it. So it's kind of funny that you were talking about what you're talking about, right? Because Wulfenite, which is a stone I do not have at all, and actually I don't even know if I've ever seen it.
I never even heard of it.
Yes, well, actually, this is our 3rd time that it's come up as one of our crystals, which I do find interesting. And it comes up, I think, at a really interesting time, as you were talking about the whole Saturn in Pisces, and about things shifting and changing. And then of course we have the number 9 today, which is about its endings or finishing, completion, and things like that. So I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to share about Wulfenite until you got talking. And one of the really cool things about this particular stone, and I'm going to read it exactly. Oh, by the way, today I am using, I wanted to show you the Encyclopedia of Crystals. This is one of Judy Hall's.
Yeah, I have that one. I like it.
Yeah, I like it because it's easy to identify crystals, unlike the crystal Bibles.
Does that stone have anything to do with a wolf energy?
That has no pictures.
Yeah, and then there's that one that has no pictures. Yeah. Does it have any? No, it has zero to do. It's actually, it's related to the sign, the zodiac sign Sagittarius. It's actually related to uterine healing following childbirth, miscarriage, abortion, sexuality, mortification, cellular memory, rejuvenation, and energy preservation. Those are the highlights. Mm-hmm. One thing to keep in mind, if you ever do have Wulfenite in your collection, or you come across it and you want to touch it, keep this in mind. It is a toxic crystal. So make sure that you're either, if you're going to touch it, you're using gloves, or you make sure you wash your hands thoroughly before you put your hands near your mouth. All right. So, because it has heavy metals with it. But the part that I thought that was really interesting is it's also related to our root and the base, our base and our, root chakras. And the other really interesting place that I think that it's really, it involves our past life. So it helps us connect to that past life energy, whether we're connecting to our past life, our past life lessons, or our past life, the gifts that we were able to carry on and bring with us into this life and to carry on into the next. I thought that was a very interesting thing, but it's very useful for people who need to get back in, who've become unbalanced, right? And who want to start focusing on the positives in their life. And I thought that was kind of interesting because yesterday I was telling you ladies about, I've completed my series, the Mindful Mondays at the library, our local library here. And our topic was the attitude of gratitude yesterday. And essentially what that is all about doing is shifting your energy, shifting your thought, leaving, rather than hanging on and perpetuating negativity and wondering why it keeps boomeranging back to you. But it's using that power of gratitude to get into that positive boomerang effect, if you will. And, so many people think that it's a really, that being positive is being fake, right? When in reality, I don't know about you guys, but life is so much more positive than it is a negative. I'm like, I'm a much happier person, and it's far less painful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's far less painful. So it really helps with focusing on those positive energies, and learning how to integrate that into your life. But the other aspect, so it's a very contradictory stone, because it also helps you to connect to your shadow energies, which for those who don't know what shadow energy is, that's the energy that we carry with us from childhood, our scars and our, the hurts and things. It was Carl Jung who kind of coined that shadow energy for us back a while ago.
In the 40s, I think.
Yeah, I think it was in the 40s. I think that's what it was. And so, but when you're able to start to connect to that and integrate those shadow energies, and essentially integrating means that you're dealing with it. You're, rather than keeping it in those hidden recesses within your psyche or within your body, you're just letting it flow through you. And you're working with that energy. But it's a really good one to work with that. And everything that I was hearing you saying about, of course, Pisces going into Sagittarius.
Saturn going into Pisces.
Saturn going into Pisces.
Well, it's already in there, but
yeah. Or it's really a lot of, this is a great stone for people who have all these, all these things that they need to, that they're going to have to be forced to work out.
Yeah.
And
forced. That's a good word, forced.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm interpreting.
It is.
You're destroying and you're uncreating, which is, because I destroy and uncreate things, at least universally, I say it out loud a lot. I destroy and uncreate it. Well, in order for me to rebuild it, in order for me to recreate what it was. And so, but this can be a really good tool to have nearby if you know that some of the things, maybe it's a difficult relationship, maybe it's a difficult situation, a job, and in order to help you, help again, get into those cracks and break things wide open so that you're not feeling walled into that area or that situation that you're stuck in.
Well, and what you're saying too, it's like when we tap into, remember what I said about the emotional spiritual connection, which is what we have to tap into. If we become more connected spiritually, I feel like the transitions that they're going through will be easier because now they're connected to source. They know they're not alone. They know that there's life after whatever they're going through, right?
Yeah.
And so it's trusting that process, if you feel that you're alone, that you don't have, that God is, sometimes people feel like God abandoned them, that God forsaken them. And it's because they have no connection spiritually. So Saturn is saying connect more spiritually, and your process, your transition will be a lot easier. Not that it's going to be totally, a smooth ride, but it'll be easier when you connect.
Yes. And one of the things that people have to understand is spiritually connecting is not religiously.
No.
Connecting. And people, a lot of people don't understand that is two completely different, two completely different subjects, topics, avenues, streets, however you want to put it, it's very different. One is not the same as the other.
Absolutely not.
And so, the Wulfenite would be a great one to just have in your environment. It's not one that you want to, if you feel like you want to meditate with it, don't hold it. Do a slight gaze, right? You gently gaze as you're looking at it. And, you soften your eyes, and that's how you meditate with a toxic stone or a stone that's too big or a stone that has such a high vibrational energy. And it's not, it kind of feels like sandpaper when you touch it. It doesn't mean you're not supposed to work with it. It just means maybe not that close to you.
Yeah.
I love this little bit from Love Is in the Earth because it speaks to everything that you're talking about right now with the Wulfenite.
Yeah.
Wulfenite allows one to accomplish the transition from the physical plane to the psychic and astral planes with expedience. The time which is usually required to alter one's state is dramatically decreased. So specifically with what Damaris was just talking about,
Yeah.
and what you were just talking about is exactly the right stone for this purpose, for this time right now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is, the return to Pluto, moving from that body-mind space into the spiritual, emotional space. And this stone will help make that transition quicker, less painful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Less painful for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And, I'm just going to emphasize one last time, and then I'm throwing it over to you, Gayle. My emphasis is that
Throw it to Allison. She's on a roll today.
What a surprise. It all connects. I know. Fancy that. Woo-woo's in the house. Woo, woo, woo. So, yeah. I just need woo-woo is in the house. I love it when this all happens.
Right.
But yeah, no, my emphasis is just if you're going to use it, if you get a piece, please take a photo and share in the group on Facebook, in our Facebook group, because I'd love to see and tell us where you got it. But the other aspect is, should you get a piece of Wulfenite and you're like, yes, I need this in my environment. Just once again, if you have small children, keep it out of reach. And if you're going to work with it, please, please, please keep your hands clean.
I have a question before
Yes.
Gayle takes over. Is there a comparison crystal to the wolf or whatever it's called?
Wulfenite.
Wulfenite.
That's a really good question. I did not look that part up. Let me research that while Gayle is talking, unless Gayle's like, oh no, here's a comparison. But because I see her researching.
Yeah, I'm already researching, and quite honestly, there isn't anything really that I can see. But remember that one that you have a really hard time pronouncing, the molybdenite?
Yes.
Yes, that. Yeah.
This is a form of that.
Oh,
yes.
Is a form of that.
Okay.
The molybdenite. Molybdate mineral. All right.
Yeah, and that's another one. Don't put it in your mouth, please. Okay, y'all? Yes.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah, no, I don't think there is. I'll double check. There are a couple of places that actually tell me if there's a comparison. Mm-hmm. So yeah, gently gaze, no touching. Yeah. Exactly. That's what it is.
All right. Excellent.
All right.
Well, you go do that and I'll do this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So speak your mind and not piss people off. Is it even possible? Short answer is no. Short answer is no. It's not. You have no fucking control over other people and how they react to things.
No.
You have no idea if that person's even mentally healthy when you come at them. You have no idea. So just understand that whatever it is that you have to say, for you to have your say and be authentically expressed in life, is independent of the reaction to it. All right? You got to go out there. You got to say what you need to say. You got to express what it is that is there for you to express. In the case of the lady that we were talking about earlier, she may have to finally find a voice and say, this does not work for me anymore. And yes, that's probably going to piss off the person that she needs to say that to.
Of course.
There are ways that we can do these things that will be maybe more easily received. But honestly, the most important factor of all of this that I wanted to talk to you all about today is dissociating yourself from the codependency of, you've got to be okay with what I have to say. You don't. They don't. Right? They're going to receive it from wherever they are at that point in time. And generally speaking, if you're pissed off about something and you're trying to tell them that something is wrong, they're in that space of wrongness. So they're not going to be, like all flowers and roses about it. Give an example from my life this week.
Okay.
All right. So in the restaurant world, there'll be all kinds of strata of human beings in the game, if you will. You know, you've got your outgoing people that are serving staff. You've got your people that are in the back that are creative and making the food, right? And you've got your dishwashers and that kind of stuff, okay? So we got really, really slammed. And the head waitress is going, they need to get glasses out here. They need to get glasses out here. Now, let me stop for just 1 second. My head waitress knows this about herself. She will say what is wrong, but will not necessarily fix it. Okay? Because she loves having that stuff to bitch about, right? This is an energetic addiction. She probably doesn't know that part. So I hope you're not watching. Yeah. I mean, nobody likes being told about themselves, right?
No.
As an archetype, there's an energetic addiction to, I feel comfortable complaining about things because that's what I grew up in, right? But nobody ever fixed anything. So that's a very uncomfortable place for me to go to actually take the actions that would fix this thing.
Yeah.
Me? My pet peeve is unfinished tasks. So if you see a problem, you need to communicate to the person who can solve the problem. So I go hoofing it back to the dishwashing station and very, as kindly as I can, being pressured up front. And I know she's pressured back there to say to the person, we need glasses. And the person is pulling an entire rack of plates out of the dishwasher. And in that moment, I can see where the breakdown occurs, okay? Because she's not putting plates and glasses and saucers and bowls and cups in each load. She's waiting until she's got a full load of plates and then washing those. And waiting until she's got a full load of cups and washing those.
Yikes.
And that does not work in waitressing.
No.
Restauranting, right? So I tell her we need cups. She's like, well, I got plates. And I'm like, we need the cups now. And she goes off on this long explanation, which neither one of us has time for, because here she is in her world going, I'm doing the best I know how to do. It's not good enough. I can feel the world imploding around me. And now you are in my face telling me what's fucking wrong when I'm surrounded by what's fucking wrong. Okay. So I totally get it that she's in her space trying to defend herself.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes defense becomes offense.
Yes.
And she says to me as I'm walking away, because I could see what was happening. And it's like, as long as I keep answering her back to restate, we need cups now, the more she's going to go off on what she says to relieve her own pressure. Right? Which has no forward movement to the solution for either one of us. So I'm going to just stop talking. I'm going to walk away, let her do her thing. And as I'm halfway down the hall, I hear, if you want, you could come in here and help. Oh my God, bitch. You did not say that shit to me.
Oh no.
You did not say that to me.
What happened?
My little ass back to the dishwashing thing. And I said, you do not sign my paycheck. You do not talk to me like that. And I turned around and left. And I could hear her going on. But at that point, nothing was going to be served by, right?
No.
Okay. So here's the thing. I said what needed to be said. We needed glasses out front. Now, what she's going to do with that has nothing to do with me speaking what authentically needed to be communicated. Okay. Now she's going to go and she's going to run in circles like a chicken with her head cut off and do whatever she needs to do to release her pressure. And she's going to do whatever is in her world to do in order for her to process that. Right. And that's all hers.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me.
No.
Okay. And that's what I want all of you to understand as well. You're saying what you need to say. How they react to it is entirely on them. If they have an energetic addiction to bitching about people telling them what to do, boom, you just gave them fuel. They're off and running, but it has nothing to do with you. Okay. No. If they have an energetic addiction to, oh, I'm not good enough, and she just proved it by coming and saying that I'm not doing good enough, they're going to be off and running about that too. right? That
She needs to restructure the way she's doing it.
Right. But see, I can't even help her with that unless she's willing.
Yes.
I can't help her with that unless she's willing. And at that point was not the time, the opportunity, or any of it, you know. And she's got to get to a place where she's willing to do something differently.
Yes.
And all I wanted her to understand from me was that I don't need your explanation. I don't need your excuse. I need you to hand wash some fucking glasses and bring them up front.
Yes.
That's what I need from you. That's all I needed. And I knew that that was not going to get across. So I turned and walked away, you know. And I'll be honest with you, maybe 5 minutes later, I go to get some food from the cook, and the cook just looks at me and he gives me this shake of his head. He's like, "Stop pissing people off, Gayle." And I'm like, what do you want from me? Right?
Exactly.
You want He says, "I need you to apologize to her." Oh, here she goes.
You should. You were just saying what you were just saying.
That's the thing. And my head waitress is behind me going, "For what? What do you want her to apologize for? Doing her job and pointing out that the other girl is not doing her job well enough? If you can't keep up, you know, do something different." So at any rate, I'm getting into way too much detail on this than I wanted to. All right. But here's the fact of the matter, right? Things still need to be communicated, regardless of whether or not the other person likes it or not. Mm-hmm. Don't let your codependency on how other people are going to react to what you have to say to stop you from saying those things. Yeah. You know? Now, if your life is at risk by you saying those things, and you and I and every other fucking woman on this planet knows that there are certain times in certain relationships that you do not dare open your mouth. We get that, girls. We get that. We're not saying to put yourself at risk, okay? But we are saying in those little everyday occurrences like what I just described, right? That it is okay for you to say whatever it is you need to say. And if you do need to apologize later or clean it up later, you can do that as well. Like I told the cook when he asked me to apologize to the dishwasher, I said, I will apologize to her by the end of day today. Because at that moment, I was not ready, and I did not see any justification for me apologizing at all.
I don't see it either. I don't see it.
Right. I did my job. I told her what we needed, and she got upset. Okay. So a little while later, now in meantime, she comes out and she's like slamming stuff all over the place and, you know, yipping. And I turned very calmly to her and I said, "Look, you bringing that attitude out here in front of customers will get you fired. Don't." And she starts, I said, "You can stop at any time." And it's not like you could stop at any time. No, you can stop at any time. To have her start to calm down and start to realize that she is making things worse for herself.
Yes.
Not for me. I don't give a fuck how you feel.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. But you're doing something right now that is above and beyond what was necessary for you to communicate your feelings. And you're putting on a show now that's going to end up getting you fired. And I don't choose to take part in that. I'm not doing it. Right?
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, the way she's doing it has a ripple effect on everybody else. You know. So
and maybe she doesn't see that because she hasn't gone through the last 25 years of personal development I've gone through. She doesn't see what's happening outside of her bubble.
Yeah.
Right. She sees, I'm feeling upset and I need to get rid of this pressure by throwing it at other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and I know that doesn't work. She doesn't know that yet. She doesn't know she's making things worse for herself.
Yeah.
Right. So then a little while later, she comes out to put some cups out and she and I are kind of shoulder to shoulder. And I said, "I apologize for upsetting you." because that's what I authentically could apologize for. I didn't mean to upset her. I'm sorry she got upset. I am. But that's the only thing that I could authentically go, I apologize. And that's all she really needed to hear too was, I'm sorry I upset you. You know, I didn't have to go down the list of, I'm sorry that I made you feel pressured because you're not doing, you know, whatever. She's fairly brand new. She needs to learn prioritization skills. That's it. She's doing a great job, right? But neither one of us could hear anything else in that moment. And that we had to move out of that moment in order to restore. And by the end of the day, she and I were team working on shit, right? So all of that can be healed easily when you allow yourself to step back and see what's really going on, right? What is yours, what's not yours, and what is the environmental factor that's bringing itself into the situation.
Exactly.
Right? Now, we've all seen that sign that talks about, you know, be kind. You never know what someone else is going through. Yes. And that's very, very true. It very is. True. Some of the most damaged people, damaged is not the right word, traumatized people who have been hurt, right? Because hurt is a whole lot different than damage. Yeah. Okay? Oh, yeah. People who have been hurt, you'll never see it. You'll never know it because their survival mechanism is to not be the weakest wolf in the pack. Nope. Right? So you're not going to see them limping along. You're not going to see them cry. You're not going to see, but you say the wrong trigger word and you just broke their heart for the 100 billionth time. Yeah. Yeah. You just shattered them. Yeah. 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 Right. Mm-hmm. So do be kind. And where you can apologize, please do. But don't walk through life refusing to be authentic for yourself just because other people aren't always as well as they could be and might have a reaction to it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I love you all very, very much. Have courage. Love you too. And love everybody. Yeah. All right. We got just a few minutes to walk through the rest of this stuff here. Today's card of the day is the 5 of Cups. Now, always associated with the 5 of Cups is a sense of desolation, of sadness, of regret, of my cups have spilled. That was the best fucking wine. You know what I'm saying, right? Something that you really treasured has gone. Yeah. You know? Now, whether that's a spirit contained by a human body, whether that's a relationship contained by a promise, whatever that may be, your containers have emptied. And there is a time for sadness and a time for grief. All right. And then absolutely talking earlier about being, destroying and uncreated. Did you know that to destroy someone was a literal, you know how there's certain words that have different definitions in legalese? Mm-hmm. Well, that was a word that was used only by kings because they created you as a peer. They gave you lands, they gave you titles, they gave you all of these things and created you as a equal to the crown. And if you pissed them off, they could destroy you, remove your story, destory you. Okay? They take away your lands, they take away your incomes, they take away your title, they take away your serfs, and you are left destitute. Nothing. Okay. No. But even kings cannot destroy energy. Those lands must be reassigned to someone else. Those titles must be reassigned to someone else. That money, that income, those people that they are responsible for must be assigned to someone else to be recreated in another person. Okay. Another way. So that's exactly where we come to with these destroy and uncreate. Okay.
Transform, right?
Exactly. Well, yep. Exactly. So literally the king would part out what wasn't working, right? And reconstitute with a different nucleus for the future to unfold through. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just love words. Anyways.
Yes.
Yes,
So
you
it
do.
goes with everything we've been saying.
Exactly it is. All right. So congratulations to this week's woo-woo winner of the week. Woo-hoo! June Connor.
Yay, June.
Yay! So congratulations. Thank you so much for being part of Three Crones in the Woo-Woo. For those of you, like maybe June, I don't know, who don't know how this works, every week we give away a 30-minute reading from one of us Crones. If you pick me, it will be an intuitive tarot reading. If you pick Miss Damaris, it will be a numerology reading. And if you pick Miss Krista, it will be a crystal reading. All right. Yeah. And those are really, really awesome. We're all awesome, but still, I think Krista's the best because I don't do them.
They're just unique, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So by all means, June, all you got to do is reach out to one of us, choose one of us, whatever kind of reading that you want. Reach out to us in our messenger and say, hey, I pick you. When can I get on your calendar? And we'll get you on our calendar right away as soon as we can. Now, for everyone else who has not won this week, please reach out to us at any time that you feel that you could benefit from one of the readings of one of the Three Crones. Just like that for June. Reach into our messenger, say, hey, I want to get on your schedule, and we will help you get onto the schedule for whatever kind of reading that you desire. Now, the three of us offer the ones that we offer through the show. Yeah. But those aren't the only types of readings that we do. No. So please feel free to inquire from any of us. Yep. What do you offer? What do you do? What can we work on together? And how can we Three Crones make your life that much more fun and effective, really? How do you manifest what it is that you want out of life?
Yeah, awesome. That's right.
Awesome.
Real stuff. Quick before we run, I just want to let you guys know I found a stone that if you are really wanting to work with this, and Wulfenite isn't because it's it's wicked expensive, and B, it is hard to find. Dalmatian stone. It's just as effective.
I have Dalmatian.
No kidding. It would be Dalmatian stone. So nice. I wanted to share that with everybody.
I'm glad you did.
I have Dalmatian.
We have the doggy stones, Wulfenite and Dalmatian.
I have it.
There you go. I thought I'm glad you picked up on that.
Oh, lovely. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being part of Three Crones in the Woo-Woo. Thank you all for being here today. We love you to bits. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you again real soon. Bye.